Mariners in a pennant chase, trying to get a wild card position as a lot of folks are coming in for the final day of Ichiro weekend, his Hall of Fame weekend. Glad you've joined us here. Robbie Ray will be going for his third consecutive win and going against a good Cleveland ball club. The Mariners won the first two games 3-1 and 3-2. Cleveland won last night 4-3. Chance to get the series win this afternoon, this Sunday. Glad you have joined us here. Dave Sims and Ryan Rowland-Smith with you this afternoon, and Stephen Kwan's going to be leading things off for the Tribe. And last night, if you were with us, he had a 12-pitch at bat and got a base hit to lead things off for the Guardians. I almost said the Tribe. He's got an 18-game on-base streak. Ryan Rowland-Smith has made it back from center field. Did you run or did you get a police escort?
I just sprinted. I'm not that big time enough to get a police escort. It was offered to me. I said I don't think I can go to that level, so I just sprinted. Just threw a bunch of people, palming people off.
You get you fending them off. Good stuff. First pitch is brought to you by First Tech Federal Credit Union. It's a good Cleveland ball club, 67-58, three-game lead on Minnesota in the Central. Here we go. First pitch from Robbie Ray. Inside, ball one. Very nice, 62 degrees. Wind out of the northwest. Telling you about other scores we'll keep an eye on. Top of the eighth, Angels lead at Toronto 6-2. Bottom of the seventh, Tampa Bay leads at Boston 8-3. And now Tampa Bay, Toronto, and the Mariners hold the three wild card positions, with Baltimore breathing down the Mariners next, only a game and a half back.
The Orioles are sticking around, Dave.
Surprising everybody.
I was waiting for them to drop off a little bit maybe a week ago, but they just keep sticking around. Every time you look up at the standings, there they are, right below the wild card line.
And you had a look there, Terry Francona. He'll be in the Hall of Fame someday. A couple of World Series titles. Finished second to the Cubs back in '16. And Scott Service should have been manager of the year in the American League for my money, and certainly a truly viable candidate.
Yeah,
for this year.
Definitely pushing for it for this year. I think a playoff berth would definitely help that cause.
Gets away from Cal. Robbie Ray, his third game against Cleveland, his second start. He's got an 0-0 record career, a 2.57 ERA. Robbie's put in some really good work. The last two wins, beat the Angels in Anaheim, and right here at home beat Washington. In and out of his glove. Still got time. Hangs with it. Makes the play. Nicely done.
Look at this, Kwan. No one better in the game to put and bat on the ball, especially deep in these counts. And that's what these Guardians do. They make a ton of contact. We saw that last night. Robbie Ray able to stay with it. It's plenty of speed too, Dave, up and down this lineup.
You mentioned, I heard you talking about it. We talked about it on last night. They don't strike out much. They're the toughest team to strike out in the American League. Here's the rest of their lineup.
Yeah, and you look at the way this lineup's built. We talked about Kwan at the top, Rosario, Jose Ramirez, how tough of an out he is. He has that contact plus power in the middle, but a lot of contact. You mentioned it. The least amount of swings and misses in the big leagues. The way this ball club's built, they can run up and down the lineup. They're tough inside the strike zone. So interesting matchup for Robbie Ray. You may see that two-seamer come into play a little bit more. We hadn't seen that. He kind of put that to the side. He's fastball slider primarily, but this is a team they're going to make a ton of contact, try and get him on the ground.
And I tell you what, it had to frustrate Luis Castillo last night. In the first two innings, more than half of his pitches were fouled off. Here's Ahmed Rosario, good player, shortstop. He's 5 for 7 career against Robbie Ray. And let me get your pitcher's perspective. Those screaming comebacks, that's not a day at the park, is it?
The ones that obviously got the extra velo behind them, they can get you. But there is those ones too that look like they've just been crushed off the bat, and they kind of spin in front of you. They can mess you up, make you look silly too. Try and pick them up, rush the throw.
That's exactly where I was going to go next. The urgency, you want to get that out, and you see guys panic. I mean, but does it take a while to get over that as you get deeper into the game?
It does. I think also too.
Robbie Ray with a strikeout. 2 down.
Robbie Ray, that good fastball, middle of the strike zone. He is going to stay with those strengths, middle of the zone. this team makes a ton of contact, but you have to challenge them. Take a look at Robbie Ray's arsenal right here. Talked about that two-seamer that might come into play a little bit more than what we've seen last couple of starts, but see 40% with that four-seam fastball. Slider has been filthy. One of the big reasons why this August has been a 2.08 ERA for Robbie Ray.
Robbie Ray, Major League strikeout leader last year, right now 5th in the American League. But the panic when he come back, you see that.
You know, it's interesting. You see plays made, especially comebackers, in April much better than you see deep in the year, because you got coming out of spring training and you've literally every single day you got those PFPs on field 3, and then by the time you saw Diego Castillo, a couple games ago, where he kind of was caught in no man's land, what to do in those plays, especially the balls hit up towards first base. But I think Robbie Ray, good enough athlete, stay with it. Had plenty of time to get Steven Kwan at first base.
He's one of the premier hitters in the game, Jose Ramirez. I mean, he's going to hit for average. He's going to hit for power. He's got 26 homers, 106 RBI, 4 triples, 38 doubles.
Interesting to see Robbie Ray step off, squat down behind the mound just then.
Yeah, you don't see that often.
Yeah, maybe catching his breath, maybe feeling like something's off mechanically. Do it early, get in a rhythm. We've seen this from him lately. He had that stretch where he had the 3 starts where he struggled.
Well, I think he earned undying respect of his new teammates with that effort he put in Chicago back on the 13th of April. Here's Julio and Mitch peeling off the last second. A nice 1-2-3 start. Glad you're with us, everybody. Julio is going to lead off when we come back. On Ichiro Hall of Fame night, looking for a heck of a lot more runs. Julio's going to start things off. Ryan, tell us about the rest of this group.
Yeah, I think it's a good matchup against Civale. This is a guy that can definitely handle it. You mentioned last night only the 3 runs, the 3 home runs, but you go up and down this line. Julio Rodriguez trying to get back to that consistency, especially after signing his big deal yesterday. Jesse Winker, another guy, Carlos Santana. Those 2 guys, look for them to have some of those bigger at-bats and get Civale out of his rhythm. See the numbers for Aaron Civale. 15 starts, 2-5 record, 5.37 ERA. Has been a little bit better the months of July and August.
Civale 6'2", 215 out of East Windsor, Connecticut. And his college ball in Boston at Northeastern University. Good to see Julio with a big hang time home run, just getting over the fence in left field last night. Scuffling during his homestand, 2 for 19.
Yeah, it's good to see. Big day for him and for the rest of his life. Essentially, when you think about that deal, Ichiro's Hall of Fame. What a big day yesterday. Up and down all day long.
Great to see a one-time one-time face of the ball club, the franchise, and the new face of the franchise, Julio, come out and hand him a wreath. That was good stuff.
And they're buddies too.
Oh, big time.
Throwing buddies.
2-1.
Like I said, for Aaron Civale, this is a guy that can definitely handle. He talked about the velocity. Cutter around 86 miles an hour. Fastball gets to 90, 92. You just saw one there. Big curveball. He'll throw that curveball a ton with 2 strikes.
Julio, 2020 club. 23 stolen bases, 21 home runs. Swing and a miss and a dandy changeup.
This was that, matter of fact, that curveball right here, middle of the plate, ton of spin. That thing is tight. He's going to throw that a lot with 2 strikes. And here it is for Aaron Civale. Cut fastball 32%. He'll throw that more than his 4-seam. Occasional sinker, the curveball 27%. That's his big put-away pitch. The occasional split too. He throws that circle change, goes back and forth between that and a split-fingered fastball.
He really came of age, Civale, last year. 12-5 and 21 starts. 3.84 ERA. Here's Jesse Winker. Alfonso Marquez has balls and strikes today. Ramon DeJesus at first and Merzel at second. Lance Barrett at third. Popped up. Austin Hedges, the catcher, is under it. 2 down. Two outs. That'll bring up Mitch Haniger.
We talked about this. in the opening, talking about some of the better at-bats. This Mariners team built with that plate discipline that can wear guys down. You don't want to see even Aaron Civale. You mentioned some of those numbers from last year. This year's have trouble getting deep into games because teams have really worked him into deep counts. So you don't want to let him get in the rhythm too early.
70 strikeouts, 18 walks, and a 68 2/3 coming into today's game. 1-0 to Mitch Haniger. Mitch looking for his first hit against Civale. He's 0 for 6 against him. So he's done his last 9 games. Made an impact, Ryan, since coming back off the IL. On a couple of games here.
Some big home runs. That big hit Friday night against Class A, 99-mile-per-hour cut fastball.
Ahead in the count, 2-0. Base hit to right in the 11th inning in the 3-2 win. Two and one.
You hear more and more too about Mitch Haniger, about the preparation and the impact he has on some of these hitters meetings, and you can just see it too. He's at that point in that career where he can start to guess right.
That's a rip shot down the line, foul.
Knowing when these pitches fall into certain patterns like that to get a fastball. It's essentially Civale's weakest pitch, that fastball. He misses middle of the ton. That's something with Mitch. All those home runs hit the left field, just straight ambushing and getting pitches to hit and absolutely turning on those pitches and crushing them.
Center fielder Straw resets straight away. Off speed pitch. Count runs full. Eugenio Suarez is on deck. Angels 7-2 lead at Toronto. Top of the 9th. Tampa Bay 9-4. Top of the 8th in Boston. Yep, scoreboard watching time, and has been for the last couple of weeks. 3-2. Swing and a miss. Pulled the string on him. Civale with a couple of strikeouts in a 1-2-3 first. Here's your next must-have Funko Pop collectible. It's coming up Saturday, September 10 against the Braves. First 20,000 fans can grab this exclusive item, with 1,000 scoring a Navy version and 6, count them, 6 fans being selected during the game for a limited edition Silver Pop. Get tickets at mariners.com/promotions. I was at the corner of Edgar Dave about 10-12 this morning, and the lines around the corner were unbelievable.
Amazing.
For each row bobblehead today.
I had one guy out there at the center field set telling me he got here. He woke up at 5 a.m. to get in line.
Okay.
Around the corner.
Whatever it takes.
I've had neighbors text me, "Hey, can you get me one of those bobbleheads? I'll try."
Oscar Gonzalez, the cleanup man for the Guardians. Gonzalez 0 for 4 last night. Couple of strikeouts and 2 groundouts. Talking to Dan Wilson about this guy last night. When I first looked down at him, said it's a young Frank Thomas look.
Yeah.
And the stance up on the foot, very similar. He's tall like Frank. Yeah. Frank Thomas, great Hall of Famer, one of the great nicknames in baseball history, courtesy of Hall of Fame announcer Hawk Harrelson, the Big Hurt.
Yes, my favorites growing up.
The line drive. Winker's going to have to play this on a bounce. First hit of the ball game.
It's a slider from Robbie Ray. This is a pitch that the last couple starts and how good he's been in the month of August. It's taken a couple innings, 2 innings, 3 innings to really get the good depth and life on that pitch. So the Cleveland Guardians early have to jump on that pitch because it gets nastier as the game goes on.
It's interesting looking at where Robbie ranks among pitchers. He's second in home runs given up, 10th in one of the lowest batting averages at 221. He's 10th there. Strikeouts, he's 5th. 6th in walks. Runner goes. Good jump. Throw to second. Got him. That swim move was not near what Haniger did a couple of nights ago. Not even close.
That was impressive. You can see Gonzalez asking for a second look. He got a good jump and a good throw right there from Cal Raleigh. Gary Francona waiting to see it.
Then Merzel out at second. His hand, oh boy, he might have a point. That Matter of about 6-7 inches, not even.
Right here. That's tough.
That's really tight.
They have some good evidence to overturn it.
Cleveland is challenging the outlaw at second base.
Van Mersel, pretty good position right there. It looks like he's in there. When they slow it down like that.
Yeah, it looked like that oven mitt gives you an extra half an inch. But Robbie Ray good at holding runners on two. But a good jump. This team up and down the lineup will run a lot this afternoon. That's how they build contact and speed.
Second only to Texas in base stealing in the American League. And this is Terry Francona, good player in the University of Arizona, played at Montreal with the Expos. But this is almost like when you watch his team, like when his old man played, Tito Francona, a good player, good outfielder back in the 50s and 60s. This is a lot of old school because they're not popping it in terms of hitting it out of the ballpark. Last night, the home run by Ramirez was number 100. That's their 14th in home runs in the American League. We have so many views of this, and the ability to slow it down frame by frame as Robbie Ray getting in some pitches to stay warm. Scott Servais said, hey, this has been a very interesting series. Everything been down to the wire. He said, I want to stop talking about how close it was. Give me a 7-1, 7-1 blowout.
Yeah, it's been some interesting box scores here. Go back a couple nights ago, all the action happened in the first inning. But this is a good team. Like, you can't forget, look, the Cleveland Guardians, when you talk about the AL Central, I'm going to get a decision right here.
After review, the call stands. The runner is out. Cleveland will lose their challenge.
Cal Raleigh down to Dylan Moore, slapped the tag on him. So one out here in the second. Dylan Moore at shortstop, a pectoral issue for J.P. Crawford. Made a diving, scooping throw with his glove a couple of days ago. Said he'd been barking on him a little bit. 205, and look at that review. But with it taking today off and then tomorrow an off day, figures he'll be back on Tuesday in Detroit. Josh Naylor 0-2.
Yeah, but this team, this Cleveland Guardians team, remember that coming out of spring training, you're thinking all Chicago White Sox in the Central.
Without a doubt.
You know, the Guardians kind of got pushed aside when you're talking about the playoff run and the predictions, but here they are. Really good team. Really well put together too. Talk about that all the time. Have to have a dynamic lineup. You can't just have, you know, a pack of 4 or 5 guys in the middle who just hit bombs and strike out a ton. They make a lot of contact. Obviously, Jose Ramirez.
Sounds like you're referring to a team in New York who lost last night.
Exactly.
A's beat the Yankees. Yankees had 1 hit. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
3-2-11 A's win. But that's a good point you make. Minnesota, for the longest time, was leading the Central. And they've been run down by the Guardians. Losing Byron Buxton does not help the Minnesota cause. 1-2.
We got good starting pitching too. We saw that. Obviously, Tristan McKenzie the first night, and you got Bieber the second night.
McKenzie threw a really good game in that first one. Came up a loser, but had a very good year. There's a road trip coming up. First time we'll see the Tigers. We'll see them again late in the last week of the season. Tigers will be the final, let's see, a Monday Singleton, a doubleheader, and a single game. That'll be October 3, 4, 5 when they come here. We'll see these Guardians next weekend in Cleveland. Three and 2. Big time pop up. Does not come back to Cal.
See Robbie Ray taking a little longer in between pitches, trying to get that rhythm, especially mechanically. Like I said, it's been taking him an inning or two to really kind of get a good feel for that fastball slider combination. We saw him in the first inning step off the back of the mound.
Talk to me about the rhythm with the component that you're talking about.
Yeah, I think with Robbie Ray, and this goes out throughout his career, obviously his time back with the D-backs and then the Cy Young year, last year. He's a processor. He looks like a guy who just throws hard and throws a hard slider. But when you listen to him talk about it, he has to make these constant adjustments mechanically. He has that big twist. He's a big back leg guy. You watch him play catch in the afternoon, and you can see him from afar just working on keeping that weight on that back leg and driving and staying in a straight line. So I think watching him even today, if you start to see him slow down in between pitches, it means he's trying to get that rhythm back mechanically.
The breaking ball, driving Haniger back on the track, reaches up, makes the play. There's 2 outs here in the second.
Tell you what, Mitch Haniger coming back, making an impact offensively. What about the impact he's been making defensively as well?
Hey, he can cover some right field.
He really
can go jump and get it, and that with Julio covering the gap, anything he can go.
Absolutely.
Maybe even cheat a couple steps left.
For sure.
The line, right?
For sure. Look at that. I mean, that's over does that drop step to the left, stays with that ball, doesn't start drifting with it. But we've seen some balls where he's gone back on, looks so good in right field, and coming off the IL, he wanted to make sure that he could cover both sides of the ball, offensively, defensively. So good to see what he's doing in right field as well.
There's Owen Miller, first baseman. We're talking about the foul balls last night to Castillo. 42 pitches in the first 2 innings, 19 were fouled off.
Yeah, plenty of that.
Wow.
Plenty of contact.
1-0. Robbie in full grunt mode today. Infield straight up for Miller, 2 out.
You see Cal Raleigh before that pitch was trying just a non-verbal, giving the 2 hands, kind of trying to straighten him out a little bit. He's worked with Robbie Ray enough this year. He's got to know him enough to know kind of some of the little cues, some of the little triggers he sees from him.
It's really key, when you're out there in the mat, you may not realize you're off like a tick or for one particular part of your mechanics. Is that what?
Yeah, I think too, again, working with a catcher, it's such a benefit when you get in a good rhythm with the guy behind the dish. We talked about this with Luis Castillo coming over. New catcher, new team, new pitching coach. Takes time.
Got him looking. Robbie Ray, second strikeout. Faces the minimum thanks to Cal Raleigh throwing out Gonzalez. No score here in Seattle. Casino Pen report. And Ryan, you can appreciate this. Diego Castillo among that group. I mean, all these guys have been dealing, but look at that number.
Unbelievable. 0.88 ERA. That sticks out to me. Obviously, the 33 strikeouts, 120 average against. Remember last year, Diego Castillo came over from the Tampa Bay Rays. And I think the biggest thing hinged on what that slider was doing. This year, if you see any kind of hanging slider or something doesn't look quite right, he's quick to make that adjustment and roll straight through it. But good to see it, man. That bullpen has been such a strength of this team.
Really, really good. Here's Gino. Eugenio Suarez, Ty France, Carlos Santana against Aaron Salvale. Broken bat looper. Hanging up. Straw's got good speed. No, the left fielder Kwan cuts him off, makes the play.
I know it's early in only the second pitch in that at bat, but that's that Eugenio Suarez happy zone right here, middle in. Tell you what, Savali got away with a mistake right there early in this count.
Good outfield, Kwan, Straw, and Gonzalez. Here's Ty France. Scuffling and then some, and 0 for his last 20. I thought he got a bad deal last night.
Yeah.
Umpires are human. Lance Barrett had balls and strikes. He ran him on 3 pitches that were
3 straight
that were off the plate. And Ty, frustrated, was beefing at him after the inning was over from the bench, and he got thrown out.
And when you are scuffling, it could be the littlest thing. It could be something, niggling injury. It could be just something with your swing or your timing. You glance up at those numbers and you see that batting average dwindle a little bit. Then all of a sudden, your guy behind the plate's not helping you out at all. It can be tough.
2-0. Bounce back, and Chen with a nice tweet there from the media get together with Scott Service. One of the things he talked about, loving the crowds, and says, hey, the players feel it. And they're into it and they appreciate it. fervor the last few days, and with this team coming down the stretch, and so many fans and people and colleagues around the country say, hey man, I want you guys to make the playoffs. So that's heard a lot of guys, some of the players saying, hey, we might be America's team.
It's definitely different in places that you don't usually get the Mariners talk, you know, like certain coffee shops I hang out at, or taking the dog for a walk, whatever. Just random strangers bringing up the Mariners. I love it. There's definitely a buzz, especially heading out to the center field set with Brad Adam, and just the buzz here on the concourse as well.
Outstanding. Ty for a long time a top 10 hitter this season. 2-2 pitch. Work the count full. The streaks end. Good time to end one right now.
For sure. Hanging off that pitch too, that 2-2 curveball. That's a big weapon from Savali. Sometimes it just takes that one pitch. You recognize it early. Okay, I can see it. And all of a sudden he has to come back into the strike zone. That's where Ty France can let it eat.
1 out and a 3-2 pitch. Boy, a lot of breaking balls and consequential counts that he has seen during this tough stretch that he's in right now. 2 outs here in the second, and a fireworks show fit for September. Don't miss Earth, Wind, and Fireworks Night. It's presented by T-Mobile. It's coming up Friday, September 9. Reigning champion Braves will be in town, and it's going to feature classics like Let's Groove, Boogie Wonderland, and of course September. So pick up your tickets at mariners.com/fireworks. It's the third strikeout for Savali. There's Carlos Santana. So Savali, for the first 5 men, not giving up a base hit. It's not walked anybody. The Mariners just 3 hits last night. They were all home runs. Gino Julio and Jake Lamb. Santana was the DH last night, went 0 for 3. DH here this afternoon. That is overall batting average up to 201, hitting 182 since joining the Mariners. 7 home runs and 20 runs batted in. Infield pulled around hard to the right. 2-1.
And facing his ex-teammate, this situation, Carlos Santana facing Savali, played with each other last year, beginning early this year.
Two-one pitch. This will be Miles Straw. Savali 6 up, 6 down. Bunch of zeros on the board right now here in Seattle. The cast is presented by authority of the Seattle Mariners and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Seattle Mariners. And that dog right there, Tucker,
having a blast.
The team mascot from a couple of weeks ago. Who's a good doggy? Robbie Ray, a couple of strikeouts, giving up 1 hit. Gonzalez was thrown out stealing, so Robbie's faced the minimum through the first 2 innings. He's got Andres Menez, the second baseman. Austin Hedges, the catcher, and center fielder Miles Straw coming up. So 8 foul balls as we play here. First pitch in the 3rd inning. 19 of 42 fouled off in the first 2 innings by Cleveland against Luis Castillo. Fighting the sun, Jesse Winker hangs with it. And now a quick word from Jack in the Box.
Mix Good sauce with my new spicy Good sauce for spicy good sauce.
Boy, the sun a factor today. And all 3, the era of the flip downs, gone.
Were you a fan of the flip downs, Dave?
I prefer these, to be honest with you, but there was a cool look to the flip down.
Yeah, it was.
It was a very cool look.
For sure.
Remember Brooks Robinson, among others, wearing them. There's Austin Hedges, the catcher. I got a feeling he wasn't thrilled to see Tito put him in the lineup against Robbie Reyes. 1 for 23 with 11 punch outs against Robbie.
Yeah, probably the most at bats against Robbie Ray. It's interesting. Look at this lineup. Not a whole lot of experience facing Robbie.
Robbie would love a good put away right here. You don't want somebody to get hot. It's 1 for 23 on it. Well, that's a lot of ownage right there.
Yeah, it really is, and nothing better too when you're just trying to find your rhythm a little bit. We talked about that last inning, and then you face a guy that you're pretty familiar with, played in the NL a lot, Austin Hedges. He comes up to hit, and you're like, I got you, buddy. One hit.
Bouncing ball. Gino cuts it off. Two down here in the third. Today's SAP broadcast brought to you by the Laborers Union, 47,000 strong in the Northwest. As a pitcher, do you know where the ownage is going through certain when you look at certain ball clubs?
For sure, yeah. I mean,
without let me finish up the question by saying, without looking at the numbers, I mean, in your mind's eye.
Yeah, you just have that. You just remember certain at bats or certain situations or swings they take, and I think the biggest thing when you're facing guys, and you can look into numbers all you want. But when you're 60 feet away and you throw a certain pitch, and it could be a hanging slider, for example, and you see a swing, it tells you that you are not seeing the ball very well off me. And you just remember them. You just kind of etch them in your brain, and you'll never forget that. And there's some guys. You were talking about Frank Thomas earlier.
Right.
And look, I grew up watching him. He had a video game, Big Hurt.
Yeah.
So the first couple of times I faced him, everyone said, hey, look, you've got to pitch him inside. You have to. And I'm like, I'm not pitching this guy inside. He just leans out over the plate and crushes. But when you go middle into him, all of a sudden the reaction, his hands would kind of go up, to his shoulder. And so you just have that comfort level in situations like that. Now, I'm not saying you just own him from pitching inside, but just those little moments like that can really help.
Well, it's a good moment right there, putting away Miles Straw very quickly at 1-2-3 third for Robbie Ray. The T-Mobile coverage cam on this beautiful Sunday afternoon. Part of me says, where did the season go? But the other part of me says, hey man, you can see the playoffs from here.
Oh yeah, for sure. What a great spot the Seattle Mariners are in.
Right into the shift. Menes throws out Cal.
And you have that feeling it's going to be a bumpy road all the way to the last game of the season for sure, because you've got so much competition around you.
To your point. All right, you got Detroit. You'd like to think, you don't want to count anything, but you like to think you can fare well against them. Okay, then you got these guys for a weekend series for 3, and then you come up the White Sox. We talked about this earlier. Still a dangerous team.
They still are.
Atlanta's the reigning world champions, making a move on the Mets, and San Diego trying to get back into the playoff pictures. We look at Adam Frazier.
Yeah, there's some big boys coming to town in the month of September. Some exciting, fun series to see the Braves, see San Diego. Soto coming into town.
See Soto for the second time. So I'm in July right before the All-Star break.
You mentioned handling Detroit, though. It's been a mixed bag against some of these sub-500 teams.
For the Mariners? Oh, no question about it.
And I feel like there's that sense of, hey, that extra little bit of pressure. Like, we have to go in and sweep a team. We'll go 3 or 4, but they've run into some tough going.
There've been, this last series, what, 1-1 against Washington?
Yeah.
1-2 against Oakland. They do sweep Anaheim, but holy moly! No, you're exactly right. That's why I phrased it. You'd like to think you could do well against them.
And maybe because our expectations change. If you're watching at home, your expectation changes. You think, oh, the Texas Rangers, they should just absolutely steamroll them.
Yeah.
Then they run into
famous last words, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Dylan Moore on deck. 2-2. Going back is Ramirez. The left fielder's going to take care of it. Oh, he lost it in the sun. Adam Frazier kept his head up, kept on running. He's in the second base. A Sun double. First Mariner hit.
And we were just talking about the sun being a factor, especially in that outfield. You can see if you're looking around, getting that big view of the outfielders. They're all glancing up, trying to get a feel for it. And here's Stephen Kwan. Just loses that about 3/4 of the way down. There is no lonelier feeling on the planet when you lose that ball in the sky.
We saw Ichiro lose one in Boston one time. I heard people giving him grief. I said, dude, if you can't see it, you can't see it. What are you going to do? You're going to lose. And I went out there. I was out in left field one time, on in a day situation. You look up, it's tough.
You remember back in the playoffs when they used to have the white towels? You talk to guys who play and they'd start spinning.
Oh, yeah.
Spinning.
Right.
And guys, if it was like that low line drive, they'd just lose it. I remember talking to Matt Holliday about that, playing in playoffs, and he said every time a ball was hit on the line to him, he just simply could not see it.
First base runner for the Mariners. I'm at the page back and see what the last one was. Here's a pop-up. Rosario, first base runner, did not have a base runner last night because the 3 tallies were via home runs. So the last base runner, we're going to go back to the Friday night game. Speaking of matchup against the Tigers, A.J. Hinch, a lot of that, he's had some, it's a dominant number, 69 to 35, all of that when he was with Houston, of
Different
course.
ball club, yeah.
Yeah, totally different ball club. Highest winning percentage versus any opponent. And that's right. Last May, remember the Mariners got no hit twice in about 12 days, once by Baltimore and once by Detroit.
Yes.
2 outs. There's Julio, runner at second. The Tigers last year, to our point, Tigers were 5-1 against the Mariners last season.
You cannot walk into that thinking, okay, they're struggling, and what a mess over in Detroit as well. I mean, you think about it.
49 and 78, the Tigers record coming into today. Julio's retired. Rosario makes that play. Runner stranded. We go to the 4th in a scoreless ball game. M's fans, bid now at vmfh.org/M's to win tickets, signed gear, and to watch batting practice on the field at an upcoming game. That is well worth it, folks. You like baseball players, you like to see them up close and personal, watch them do their pregame work. It's a lot of fun. And you learn a lot watching these guys and watch their process. Top of the order, Robbie Ray, Aaron Savali locked up in a good one. And Quan, boy, had that defense moving. Everybody in the infield was on the move when he showed bunt.
300. A lot of singles.
Good player.
Yeah, he is. Remember, he was on that absolute tear and just took MLB by storm when he burst on the scene early this year in April. Literally couldn't get him out. There's some crazy number where not one pitch crossed the
and no swing and miss.
Swing and miss. That's it.
Rob was all over the place here in this at bat. 3-0. Top of the order, Juan, Rosario, and Ramirez. Robbie struck out 3. Back with a strike. Guardians are off tomorrow, home for Baltimore for 3 and the Mariners for 3. Then they go to Kansas City and Minnesota. Julio had played just right. How good is that kid?
On that play right there too. We've seen this multiple times. Julio Rodriguez, obviously, we all know about the contract extension. We know about the power, the speed, everything else. But one thing, playing center field that I'm so impressed with, the ability to come in on the ball and plays like this and stay on it too. Usually that's a ball that's that split-second decision where you take a step back, you let that ball bounce. If if it's going to be a single, tell you what, Robbie Ray loves that too. Man.
Darn right.
Taking singles away, taking speed, keeping speed off the bags.
Played the slice perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, that ball jumps at you, has a little bit of that movement on it as it's heading out to center field, and then you can hesitate just a little bit because you give up on it. Make sure you stay in front of it so it doesn't get to the wall. So impressive though. And yesterday, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I mean, I was happy when I heard the news. Julio Rodriguez.
Oh. You were talking about Quan, 116 pitches before he swung and missed. Oh my goodness.
Wow. That's amazing.
To start his MLB career. Wow. That is good stuff. Rosario struck out on a 1-2 pitch first thing. Final, Angels beat Toronto 8-3. Houston leads Baltimore 3-0, bottom 8.
That's a good sign right there. 88-mile-per-hour slider from Robbie Ray. We talked about getting the feel for that slider. It takes him 2-3 innings. You see the velocity start to tick up. When you see it up in that 87, 88, it's a good sign. It means he's got that good feel for it. 89 that time.
Be remiss without remarking about Mr. Kwan out of Oregon State. Came out drafted after his junior year.
A couple young Oregon State alumni. Rutschman over in Baltimore. Stephen Kwan.
Turns out, I guess it's not a surprise, but Rutschman is as good as advertised.
Oh yeah.
I know you get doing some workings with some folks at Oregon State. I'm sure they speak very highly of him.
Yeah, Coach Cannon, Rich Dorman, the pitching coach. Good friends with them.
Swing and a miss. Robbie Ray with another strikeout. That's his 4th, 2 down here in the 4th.
It's that slider coming to life all of a sudden. He's getting that rhythm. Mechanically, everything's starting to sink in. And this is what you see, that slider just diving below the strike zone. 88. Again, when you see that velocity tick up, not just with the fastball, with that slider, that's a great sign. Lefties, righties, doesn't matter. Yeah, you talked about Oregon State, just some of the products coming out of there. But yeah, I have a young Australian, just got done with his freshman year, Travis Bazzana. He's going to be an absolute stud. That came out here when Adley Rutschman was out here playing the Mariners.
What position?
He's an infielder, second baseman. May slide over the left-hand side of the infield, but we came out to watch Rutschman when Orioles in town. Just nothing but Beavs fans all over the place. It was good to see.
There's Ramirez fooled on that pitch. 1-1. Jose flat out to center to end the first inning. Robbie Ray 4 strikeouts, no runs, 1 hit. Gonzalez, and he was raced trying to steal. And on the flip side, the Mariners have a sudden double to left field. Adam Frazier, our only base runner to this point. Two and one. Mariners had no runners in scoring position last night. 3 home runs.
Helping him out right there. He knew it too. Pitch was well outside the strike zone here. You see Tracy showing that ball up and away, helping him out. You do not want to fall back 3-1 to a guy like Jose Ramirez, one of the best when he's ahead in the count.
2-2 pitch gets away from Cal. Boy, Tampa Bay opened it up on Boston, beat them 12-4. But Toronto loses, Tampa Bay wins. Teams that were interested in knowing what's happening with them in this wild card chase. 3-2 to Ramirez. Right to Adam Frazier. Played perfectly. Robbie Ray throwing a beauty. Throwing an absolute beauty here this Sunday afternoon. Need to get some hits and runs for him. How did the Walt Disney Studios help America win the war? Find out in the new exhibit at the Museum of Flight, the Walt Disney Studios, and World War II now open. Big crowd here to Lower Bowl, pretty much filled. The Penn, Edgars, the upper deck left field, straightaway center field. I'm telling you, we got a great crowd here tonight. Yeah. It's got to be upwards of 38, 39,000, if not more. We'll get that to you a little bit later.
One of those last days of summer. Right here, late August, place is bumping. Some Nitro bobblehead dolls getting handed out.
So Tampa Bay wins. Tampa Bay now holding the first wild card spot. It's Jesse Winker leads off. Haniger and Suarez to follow. Tampa Bay with the win, 70-57. The Mariners 69-58. Toronto a loser this afternoon, 68-58. With Baltimore a game back. Jesse swings through.
That curveball has been filthy from Aaron Civale. That's that big weapon. That's a pitch that you don't want your hitters to go back into the dugout and say, man, curveball was filthy. All of a sudden it starts to get through the dugout a little bit. And you start thinking about it a little bit too much. But that's that pitch they need to figure out. He's going to throw that early in the count, and he's going to throw it with 2 strikes as well.
Having a hard time with pitch com. You can see Austin Hedges covering his right knee. Here's 0-2. If you were still working today, would you like the pitch com?
I think so. I think once you get used to it, it's one of these things too. And I've talked to some pitchers. They're so used to. I mean, since you were 10 years old, that rhythm of getting a sign, taking a breath, throwing a pitch, takes a little bit to get used to that.
Good take there by Jess. 2-2. He fouled out to the catcher Hedges his first time up.
But I think once you get used to it, I love the fact that you're not guessing or getting paranoid with runners on second.
It's definitive.
Yeah, exactly.
Here's what I want. Here's what we're going to do. 2-2.
Good job to lay off that pitch. That's that 2-strike curveball. He's seen a couple of them now. He's seen 3 of them. Laid off 2 of them. It's a good sign. This is what happens too when you rely so heavily on one pitch, second, third time through the lineup. When you're facing a team like the Mariners that have these good at bats, you have to go to plan B, and that's where the Mariners can get him.
Nice little wrinkle on that one. That's strikeout number 4 for Civale. Robbie Ray has 4.
This is kind of that plan B when you're throwing the kitchen sink. Is that cut fastball? This has been a pitch. He's starting to throw that a little slower. It's kind of got a little bit of that slider movement to it. Jesse way out in front on that swing.
Top 2 pitching teams. 2 of the top pitching teams. ERA, the Mariners are 4th. Cleveland right behind them, 5th. The American League. Here's Mitch Haniger. Bounces it to third. Here's Jose Ramirez. 2 down.
Like I said, I remember the days I wasn't pitching. I'd be sitting there in the dugout and you hear a hitter come back and say, someone say, hey, what pitches did you see? It's like, oh, hey, that cut fastball, hey, it's filthy. And I'm thinking to myself, don't say that, because all of a sudden now that just spreads throughout the dugout and you get caught on that pitch. And
negative reinforcement.
Exactly. Yeah.
Negative thoughts, as Jay Buhner always says, you got this voice on the left shoulder.
That's right.
On the right shoulder.
Then you have those guys like a couple of the guys who were here last night, Mike Sweeney, Raul Ibanez, that come back and maybe a filthy pitch, but they kind of have that glass half full attitude when they're back in the dugout. Always helps. Yeah, made me wonder too. I'm like, is the opposing team going back after I throw a pitch saying that pitch is filthy, or that pitch is very hittable?
Suarez, a bloop to left center field. It was run down by Kwan. Here's how they set up for Eugenio Suarez. StatCast powered by Google Cloud. High fly ball headed for the pen. It's got some ride, but it's going to stand a yard. Miles Straw with the catch. Gino almost gave us a big thrill there. No scores. We go to the 5th. 2 ball games you won at the Angels and at home against Washington, and right now he is locked up in a duel with Aaron Civale. Both guys, no runs, 1 hit, Ryan. Both guys been on top of their game.
Yeah, and Robbie Ray is getting better and better, especially that slider as the game has gone on. You can see Cal Raleigh giving him some of the non-verbals to get him going down in a straight line down that mound. But 4 strikeouts already on a team that's extremely tough to strike out. And look at this, Civale, Robbie Ray, pretty much identical.
Talk about dealing.
Yeah, 1 hit each, 4 strikeouts.
And no freebies given either, no walks. Here's Gonzalez. Infield pulled around hard to the left. The Gonzalez, Josh Naylor, Owen Miller, middle of the order, 4, 5, and 6. Oakland, we're talking about, don't take anybody for granted, Ryan. Oakland 3-0 on the Yankees, bottom 3 in Oakland.
After a win last night. 1-0. See Aaron Boone at that press conference
a few days ago. Yeah,
a few days ago.
Slammed the table.
Slamming the table.
Not real pleased. 2-1.
That's amazing though, the Yankees, how strong they were that first half and started to dip, and all of a sudden looking human.
Well, Houston clearly the team to beat.
Oh,
that
man.
Starting rotation, the bullpen, the hitting. And they I don't think you can make an argument against them as the best team in the American League as we speak. 3-1. 3-2. And then the National League, well, the Dodgers are up 8-1. They beat Miami 8-1 earlier today. So the Dodgers are back to 50 games over 500. Wow. You heard it right. Strike 3 called, and he knew it. 5 strikeouts for Robbie Ray.
You think yourself, Gonzalez is probably sitting on that slider. He's thrown a ton of them, Robbie Ray, but this is nice. 3-1, gets back, makes a quality pitch to get back to 3-2, and then just in attack mode. I think Robbie Ray, you talk about that stretch, he had those 3 really rough starts, and he got back into a rhythm. He talked about the way he corrected it was just going harder at these guys, attacking more. Sometimes it goes the opposite way. You start, pitching away from contact a little bit. But again, we talked about this in the opening too. Robbie Ray's strength will beat the strength of the Cleveland Guardians that make a ton of contact inside the strike zone.
There's Naylor fouling one off. He sent Henniger to the track. He made a nice leaping catch. Back in the second. Back up your point. He had 10 Ks at the Angels, 7 against Washington. He's got 5 here in the 5th.
Yeah, and we saw
rolling.
Luis Castillo striking out 10 last night against, like I said, a team extremely tough to get swings and misses on. Toughest team in the league. I got to say though, Dave, it's nice when all of a sudden you have a Luis Castillo one night, back it up with a Robbie Ray the very next. It's a matter of getting that offense to support him a little bit, get some runs, get some support early, let him get in a rhythm. It's game over.
1-1 to Naylor. He's changing speed, beautiful.
Naylor has struggled more against lefties, only hitting 200. No power numbers really. Good to attack.
Easy play, 2 outs. And now, quick word from Seattle Cancer Care Alliance Proton Therapy Center.
I found out I had prostate cancer on opening day 2017. I had a friend who had prostate cancer, and I saw the side effects he was going through, and I just thought there had to be a better way. It was much easier than I ever thought possible. If I had to recommend proton therapy, I absolutely would.
Thank you, Rick Griffin. Hope you're back home safely, back in Montana after being here last night for the Ichiro Hall of Fame ceremonies. Top of the 5th, scoreless ball game, each team with 1 hit. Mariners got a double from Frazier. That's the farthest anybody's gone. Volley hasn't walked anybody. Robbie Ray hasn't walked anybody. A 1 base hit to Gonzalez. He was thrown out trying to steal. And he's ahead 0-2 here. I think that word you've used a few times, and it's right. It's still right on point. Rhythm.
Rhythm, exactly.
Because he's getting it, throwing it, getting it, throwing it.
There's a little bit of frustration last inning. He's looking up in the stands, taking his time with that fastball a little bit. But again, that's when he's at his best, when he just has that turn, just goes right after hitters. You see a slider down here. Fastball.
Went down and got it.
That's the other thing too. And I know he only essentially throws 2 pitches, but it's when you throw him to it. Like for example, Owen Miller last time out 2 strikes, he saw that slider against Robbie Ray. He kind of sneaked that fastball 95 up at the top of the strike zone.
Good Sunday afternoon duel in the sun. The 0-2 down low.
And you have 2 options for Robbie Ray, trying to get it to the top of the strike zone. That's where a little bit of that frustration comes in. Get it to the top line of that strike zone, he'll swing right through it.
One, 2. Boy, they know how to foul off some pitches.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Again, it's a matter of getting that pitch out of the middle of the strike zone, get it above the barrel. That fastball of Robbie Ray.
Ball and 2 strikes. He got him. Foul tip held on by Cal Raleigh. Strikeout number 6 for Robbie Ray through 5 in this scoreless duel. Bottom of the 5th. Brought to you by Heritage Canned Cocktails from Heritage Distilling Company. Simple but not basic. The Summit Bike Park at Silver Fir Snoqualmie Pass. Look at these cats work. Talk about some hairpin turns.
That's you, isn't it, Dave? The front bike.
Goodness gracious!
Dave Sims
Look
out
at that. And this is where I like being a spectator. I like participating in a lot of things. I don't leave it to the youngins. Here's Ty France. What a game we've got. Both pitchers just dealing.
Yeah, been tough. Cervalli, that big curveball, throwing it a bunch, and that mixing in with that little cut fastball as well. This is the guy right here, Ty France. Want to see him get something good to hit middle of the strikes and get that confidence back up.
To your point, base hit. Second Mariner knock today.
See that they're giving Negron the hug. You're like, he didn't barrel that up, but you know what? That felt like he just hit a grand slam.
Right.
When you're struggling like that.
Exhale.
Exactly.
Breathe. Smile. Have some fun. It's over.
Yeah,
it's over.
that's right. Off the barrel, that's okay. On the handle, it's all good. Giving hugs all around. Keep that bat. Maybe frame it.
He breaks it 0 for 21. You very well might. Here's Carlos Santana. Infield pulled around to the right. And how many times have we've said it, you've heard it, you've dealt with it. Hitting can get contagious. You know, to see him get off the schneid like that. The other guy's working too.
Yeah, the other aspect as well is, let's not forget, Robbie Ray and Cervalli haven't pitched out the stretch at all today. So when you're constantly in that rhythm, you're 50 pitches in and you're going from the windup, all of a sudden you have to go from the stretch.
Is that big a difference, huh?
It can, yeah. When you are not doing it at all, like there's been games where I'm in a good rhythm, all of a sudden having given up a hit, and then the 4th inning give up that first hit or that walk that first guy. And it takes you a good couple pitches, and Carlos Santana could be getting himself a good 2-1 count here.
Maybe get something to drive here.
That's why those warm-up pitches, you get around 8 of them. Try and cut him in half. The last 4, get him in out of that stretch. Just make sure you're dialed in. There's runners on base.
2-1 to Carlos. Slow roller, nailer. Make that Miller to the pitcher. Cervalli. Ball gets away and it gets into the camera well. And that'll get the runner to second base. So Miller to Rosario. With the lead runner.
Cervalli getting a chance to help himself out and get a double play. There's one. Got plenty of time for number 2.
Ramirez, and oh man, he just gacked on that one.
Makes it. Gets distracted, making sure that foot's on the bag. We talked about this too. Remember, it is late August. In month of April, I'm telling you right now, he makes that play cleanly. It's been a long time removed, and some teams, some clubs work on this stuff 2 o'clock in the afternoon before games, but a lot of them don't. Come out of spring training, we're doing those PFPs every single day, and then you lose it a little bit, lose that step. Make him pay for it.
So the error sets up a runner in scoring position. At Santana out there for Cal Raleigh. Second baseman right where he was last time. Jimenez out in short right field, and Cal hit a ground ball to him. Second time the Mariners have had. Oh, he lost his pitch comp. That's what happened.
I think it's his.
Yeah, the pitch comp fell out. There you go. Get that Velcro working again.
It's an expensive piece of equipment. Don't let that thing go in the stands.
What do they run for?
I have no idea. I've tried looking them up, and I don't think you can. I don't know, you can correct me if I'm wrong here, but if you can actually buy them. If young kids are buying them or what. Usually when you see some kind of flashy equipment or something like this, some gizmo or pitch com, you usually start to see young travel ball teams with all over it, but I haven't seen it yet.
Bingo, you're right on the money. I agree with you.
Trust me, I'm sure Christmas time, you'll be seeing plenty of that.
Hit it hard, right to the second baseman. Menace throws him out. They do get the runner to third with 2 down. Scan the QR code on the screen for Mariners value game tickets. That's $10 view, $20 main, and $30 Terrace Club seats. Next up is Monday, September 5 and Tuesday, September 6 against the White Sox. Just scan the QR code on the screen or go to mariners.com/value to secure your seats. 2 down, runner at third. About a little 2-out gold here for Adam Frazier. Got the Mariners' first hit, a Sun double to left. Kwan looked like he was in good shape, and then hey, it happens, man, especially the way the sun is right now.
It's a curveball again. Another guy, Adam Frazier, who started to turn on the second half but has slipped a little bit, fallen back into that slump. Last 7 games hit 143, only 2 for 14. Trying to get something going.
They don't complete the double play. The error on Savali gets Santana to second to third. Santana goes on the Raleigh ground out. Pitch inside to Adam Frazier, 1-1. One-1, Adam. Outside. 2 balls, 1 strike. Dylan Moore on deck if he can keep it going.
You're seeing some better counts here. You're seeing Savali. There's a little bit of a feel for that big curveball of his. But isn't enough right now. This Mariners team struggling to get anything put together offensively.
Good count for Adam.
Yeah, it really is.
3-1. Mariners runners in scoring position coming into today's game, 17th in the big leagues at 251. Cleveland 11th at 263. It's Dylan Moore hoping to get a chance here. 3-1 to Frazier with Santana at third. And Adams aboard. First walk of the ball game.
That's that curveball too. Missing with his 2 big weapons right now, the cut fastball and the curveball. That's a good sign. Hoping he kind of gets in that mindset where he has to come back in and give Dylan Moore something to hit. That fastball around 91, middle of the plate. See if Dylan can drive it into the gap somewhere.
Terry Francona, 10th year with Cleveland. Carl Willis, pitching coach, to the right, to the really great guy. Not good guys, great guys in baseball. Demo popped up to short first time.
And there it was right there. Fastball 90 middle. Missed it. Those chances, man, when you've got a guy like Aaron Savali or even Robbie Ray, you don't get too many of these. EQC Tracer has that pitch middle in, just off the barrel, but they are few and far between with runners on base here in the 5th. This has been the case all series long as well for the Mariners.
Here's the 0-2, 2-out runners at the corners. And the job. Told you about that Oakland score. 4-0 A's. A guy named Adrian Martinez is no-knowing the Yankees in the 4th. Wow, what a take.
Yeah, it really was. Takes a lot. He threw one inside the strike zone, the first pitch. He's going to throw another one. It's one of those ones that kind of just dances inside the strike zone, disappears. Really high RPM on that spin. On that curveball.
Chance for the lead here. 2-2 to Demo. Popped it up. Miller got room. Jumps in. No. Ramon De Jesus is not having it. He is not having it. He said that was screen aided.
You see this ball? See if this ball touches the screen at all. Remember, the Cleveland Guardians have lost their challenge, and he's right. Look at that.
Oh, yeah, screen ate it. Come on.
Absolutely. Good call right there.
You know what's good about it, too? Jesus put himself in good position to see that.
Yeah, for sure. And how big, well, not really. Challenge wouldn't matter. You see, Terry Francona's going to get his money's worth here because he knows he hasn't got that challenge. He's probably going to glance back to the dugout. They're probably going to.
He's asking Alfonso Marquez, can you help him out?
Yeah.
I want this out. I need this out. These guys are threatening to score.
Big part of the game right here.
Had it. Coming out. There it is, right there. I mean, come on. It rolled a couple of times, couple of revolutions, and got it back in the glove. And from Terry's angle, I can understand how he, would have a question, but it's pretty clear cut.
Now, I guarantee he would have glanced back into the dugout. You'd see Terry Francona keeping his cool, but he would have glanced back, and someone in the dugout would have taken a look on the video and said, hey, look.
Wave him off.
Yeah, wave him off, exactly. You mentioned this is a big part in this game. And
he runs at a premium. 2-2 to Demo. 2 outs, 2 on. Savali deals. Breaking ball. Swung on, driven deep to left. Quan running out of room. It's gone. Demo. Dylan Moore with a 3-run homer. The Mariners have the lead.
We talked all about that curveball from Savali. That's been his biggest weapon. He's got 2 strikes against Demo. Able to foul a pitch off that cut fastball, the pitch before it, and then sees it up in the strike zone, trusts himself a little bit, and crushed to left field. 3-run bomb. 3-0 Mariners.
See why Terry was arguing, hoping to get some satisfaction. And that was his worst nightmare right there for Dylan Moore. Home run number 6 takes his RBI count to 19. That's a big moment here this Sunday afternoon.
And look, good pitch selection, right pitch, bad execution. That pitch was in the middle of the strike zone. Savali wanted that pitch on the floor, but we talked about this. You're only going to get a couple of these moments to do some damage, and Dylan Moore made the most of it.
Julio trying to get some too. He's 0 for 2, a strikeout and a ground out the third, and this huge crowd energized.
Another thing to think of, Dave, as well with Savali, he rarely pitches beyond the 5th inning. He's had a lot of short outings, especially recently. He's been pitching better, but maybe at the end of his rope a little bit here, he's getting deep into that pitch count. You see the bullpen starting to move around as well.
Good for Dylan Moore. Been a tough go swinging a bat. He's worked his way to get above the 200 mark recently, and that is a huge 2-out, 3-run homer. Oh, look at this. That'll do it for Julio. That'll do it for the Mariners. The good news, a 3-run homer. Dylan Moore with 2 outs. And Robbie Ray and the Mariners have a 3-0 lead. Offensive hero of the moment and of the game right now, Dylan Moore, playing today because of J.P. Crawford out with a pectoral muscle issue. He hits a 3-run homer with 2 outs and a couple of it aboard after almost a disputed foul ball. And this will make you feel old. Can you believe 1982? If I added right, that's 40 years. Holy mackerel, how'd that happen? Kirkland National defeats Taiwan to win the Little League World Series. Bravo.
Well, I was born in 1983, so.
And earlier today, how about Honolulu? They destroyed any and all opponents in front of them. 13-3 beat Curacao to win the Little League World Series in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. Congratulations. Swing and a miss by Andres Jimenez. Okay.
And this is important right here for Robbie Ray. A quick, efficient inning. You know about the frustration from Terry Francona and his team. That ball hanging out around the net, and then the 3-run bomb after that. Get your team back in the dugout. Keep that momentum on your side.
You know how managers think of everything? As Terry's taking that long walk, he's got to be saying, man, just keep this dude in the yard.
Yeah.
And then boom.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Hit 9th in the lineup, like you said. Wasn't even supposed to be in the game. J.P. Crawford was a late scratch. Savali's starting to run out of gas a little bit on that curveball.
That's hit well. Mitch will have to track this one down. And bounces into the stands. Automatic double. Jimenez with the double, his 22nd.
A 2-strike count. You see Tracy shows his ball middle of the plate. You can see Cal Raleigh trying to get him above the strike zone. So we got that last punch out last inning. The 8th hole and the 9th hole. You got the weaker part of the lineup right here. Austin Hedges, a guy you know really well, had no success against you. This is a big out right here. Like I said, you know it's 3-0, so you got some wiggle room, but Robbie Ray knows better than anyone.
Slicing ball that will get fair. And runner be held at third as Haniger gets it back in. So you knew Cleveland was going to respond, and they're responding quickly here. Top 6. For more of the best coverage in the game, let's check out the T-Mobile coverage cam. Big crowd here. They erupted on the Dylan Moore 3-run, 2-out homer on a 2-2 pitch to give the Mariners the lead. Mariners with a win take the series. Cleveland Guardians, and then a rematch later on this week, beginning Friday in Cleveland. Mariners won the first game 3-1, 3-2, and 11, and then Cleveland came from behind to win 4-3 last night. Miles Straw, runners at the corners, nobody out. They're up there hacking.
Robbie's 80 pitches deep right now, but this is the most crucial part of his afternoon. He's got this far gotten a good rhythm. That fastball slider have been weapons today. These are those moments. Bottom of the lineup. This is the big out for him. Flip that lineup over. You got Stephen Kwan, Rosario. Guys are going to make you work.
And Hawaii team that won, the Hawaii team that won the Little League World Series, a run differential. How about 60-5, 6-0, wow, -5. That is dominance to the 10th power. Mitch getting under it. Julio, no, it'll be Mitch. Here's the throw, and that's a beauty. Mike Sarbaugh, the third base coach, respecting the throwing ability of both Julio and Haniger, and Hanny throws a strike in there to hold Jimenez at third.
Absolute cannon right here. We talked about Mitch Haniger's defense going back on the balls, but look at this, man. You got Julio Rodriguez, you got Mitch Haniger, you got some voltage out there in right field. No chance you're going to score in this situation. On the line, Cal Raleigh. Sure. On the black, throw a strike to Cal Raleigh right here. Look at that.
I like that form too, man. That was nice.
Yeah. Big out.
So 1 out, double plays in order. Be very helpful right here against a tough hitter, Stephen Kwan. Mitch has been busy these last 3 hitters. Chased the ball, it bounced into the seats, base hit, and then a fly ball. Kwan 0 for 2.
For Robbie Ray, this is going to be your biggest battle of the afternoon. These next 2 hitters, especially this guy, Stephen Kwan. Not going to be any cheapies right here. This long at bats, he makes good contact. Rarely swings and misses.
Juno with his feet on the grass at third, up the middle, looking for a double play. Breaking ball, 2-0.
See him being careful too. Back-to-back sliders. Not going to miss in the middle of the plate.
This works. Dylan Moore. 2 outs. And now quick word from Sound Credit Union.
You want to see your dollar go farther? How about closer? At Sound Credit Union, members help each other and make a difference in their communities. Sound Credit Union. Invested in we.
3-0 lead. Dylan Moore moments ago hit a 3-run homer with 2 outs and a 2-2 pitch. Right now, Robbie Ray trying to escape. He's got 2 outs, runners at the corners. And here's Rosario, who struck out twice. First pitch strike from Robbie.
Another reason why these two hitters you're facing, Stephen Kwan and Rosario. First of all, Rosario's punched out twice, so you know you can handle him. But right after them, you've got Jose Ramirez, who's such a weapon with runners in scoring position at 344. You want to avoid facing him with traffic.
0-1 runner goes. Swung on a miss. 0-2.
And this is that where you see the light at the end of the tunnel. You go 0-2, 2 quality pitches, fastball at the top of the strike zone. Rosario's got to protect against 2 pitches. Tell you what, Robbie Ray can smell that strikeout right here.
Hedges gets second base, his second steal. Couple big pitches coming up, maybe just one. Let's see. 0-2 here to Rosario. With 2 out, 2 on. The pitch. That'll play.
Missed over the middle of the plate. That thing where you're contemplating, do I go 88-mile-per-hour slider below the strike zone? Do I blow his doors off up in the strike zone? See a fastball up in the zone.
0-2. Kennedy fouled it off to the right side where that pitch, that location was. Wow.
Yeah, you can see him kind of cheating a little bit, jumping out. It's see the ball, hit the ball right now. Emergency swing. That's where you throw that pitch. This is where sequencing comes in so well. All of a sudden you got him out in front on that slider. Now you have to expand the zone a little bit, get it above that strike zone. Execute that pitch. He's got no chance.
Here's 0-2 again. He got him! Robbie Ray with strikeout number 7 survives the 6th inning. And the Mariner lead stays at 3-0. Moment. How about bottom 5 right here? Worked out well for the Mariners, right?
Man, this is going to haunt Aaron Civale. You see that play? And then this one. He was so close to being out of that 5th inning. And here it is, that curveball, right pitch, wrong place for Dylan Moore. He absolutely crushed that into Edgars. Good to see. Getting that second chance, if you want to call it that. It's a chance to get a pitch to hit.
Terry Francona pleading in case he wanted that out badly. And Dylan Moore comes up on the home run. His last home run to go back to the 7th of July against Toronto. Jesse Winker leads off. Here in the 6th, 3-0 Mariners. It'll be Winker, Haniger, and Suarez. Jesse 0 for 2, fouled out to the catcher and struck out.
And Jesse Winker a lot more aggressive today. Missing some pitches outside the strike zone, uncharacteristic.
Are you surprised to see Civale pitching here in the 6th?
A little bit. I think the pitch counts helped him out. This is a situation where there's been a lot of low stress innings. Obviously that 5th was.
Slow roller. Ramirez going to have to make a play. Oh man. Oh, that was outstanding. 1 out.
Still got it down there at third base. Talk about his power numbers, how much of a threat he is offensively, deeper into his career, but he can still move. Look at this. Just barehanding that ball.
See him switch, get the grip so he can get the laces.
Exactly, getting the grip of that, not setting his feet, didn't have time to do it, making a perfect throw to first base.
That is a major league third baseman play right there. Here's Haniger, struck out, grounded out to Ramirez. Civale has struck out 4. He's walked 1. That walk with 2 outs. He walked Frazier on a 3-1 pitch, and then Dylan Moore on a 2-2 pitch after that foul ball against the screen. This off the end of the bat, and Miller, easy play for him. There's 2 outs. Here in the 7th, how did the Walt Disney Studios help America win the war? We'll find out in a new exhibit at the Museum of Flight, the Walt Disney Studios. And World War II, it's now open. Eugenio Suarez. He had a high fly ball that was headed for the pin and didn't have enough oomph.
Yeah, there's been a couple pitches, a couple mistakes. Hasn't quite gotten to. Both on fastballs too. There's that cut fastball.
First time up, Gino hit a bloop to left center field that was run down by Stephen Kwan. Good play. Ooh. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, right? It looked like he was going to pull the trigger on that one.
Good curveball right there.
1-1. He's got to work here. All 2 strikes, 2 out, nobody on. 6th inning, 3-0 Mariners. Big pitch right here. Two. Fouled it off.
Nothing straight in this situation against Suarez. You go back to the last at-bats you've had against someone. Got away with a couple fastballs middle. It's going to be that cut fastball and that curveball out of the strike zone.
Two out, nobody on. 2-2 pitch. Line drive down the line. That is just foul.
Exclusively staying down and away. Eugenio Suarez trying to pull that ball a little bit.
Dino, the home run and RBI leader.
See if he can make an adjustment right here. Try and let that ball travel, get on the plate a little bit, and drive it to right center field.
Leads the team in home runs, strikeouts, and walks. Look out.
Oh.
What? Wow. To the 7th we go. 3-0 Mariners. In print and online at SeattleTimes.com. The Seattle Times delivers deep sports coverage to your home, desktop, phone, or tablet. So make the most of this season. Visit SeattleTimes.com/subscribe to sign up now. Beautiful Sunday afternoon for baseball. Glad you're with us here on Root Sports. Dave Sims, Ryan Rowland-Smith. Robbie Ray through 6 innings.
Dealing.
Yep, 7 strikeouts.
None bigger than that.
Oh, that last
one.
Got to deal with Ramirez, nobody on. You like that sound of that as opposed to what could have happened.
Yeah, he had some contact. He had runners in scoring position, none out. Able to get Stephen Kwan when you slip behind in the count. Very tough to do. Get him to hit something weak. Will pop up, and then big strikeout to Rosario. Massive.
Double, single, fly out, pop up, strikeout to get out of trouble.
Remember Robbie Ray the first half trying to find his footing, and one thing he talked about was losing focus in that one big inning. All of a sudden he'd be cruising along.
Right,
and then,
remember that?
Yeah. Happened down in Miami too. I remember playing the Marlins, and he talked about after the game.
There's always one inning. Dylan Moore having a good day. That's a big out to get Ramirez.
It's easy to do too. You're cruising along. You feel like you got a good feel for all your pitches, and then, 4th or 5th inning, when you're in that situation where you are having that one big inning, you're just kind of waiting for it. It's in the back of your mind. But he's gotten well over that.
Dylan Moore getting some time today. J.P. Crawford, a pectoral issue on the left side. Remember that scooping diving play he made a couple of days ago. A little bit sore. Scott Servais said it was barking at him yesterday, so give him today off. Got tomorrow a day off. Be back Tuesday in Detroit to open up that series. Great crowd. 45,190. Wrapping up Ichiro Hall of Fame weekend. Bobblehead today. Valued prize for so many folks. 0-2 to Gonzalez. Single to left and a strikeout looking thus far.
Looking strong here. 96 pitches. Matt Brash warming up in the bullpen right now.
No play. Robbie going for his third consecutive win. His longest winning streak of the season, if he can pull it off. He won back-to-back games. He beat Philly here back on May 10 and won at the Mets in his next start. 0-2.
And he's back on that roll. Look how strong he looks here in the 7th inning. Had that hiccup. You talk about that against the Astros. He had the 2 starts against the Astros and had the 1 other start. But you're thinking to yourself, man, is he trying to find his footing again? But man, he has just figured it out. That swing and miss is back. 0-2 quickly right now. 98 pitches in. Still hear that loud grunt.
The 0-2.
Not only that too, obviously Luis Castillo last night throwing 110 pitches, get through 6. It's nice when you got the guys with this kind of swing and miss stuff where you know you can get 100+ every time out, especially down the stretch. That's huge.
Castillo 10 Ks last night. Robbie at 7. It's 1-2 here to Gonzalez. Josh Naylor DHing today. Plays first base with Matt Brash. Pitched well in 2/3 of an inning on Friday. Another foul ball.
Another aspect of that day too, when you're talking about some of these pitch counts, and when you were consistently throwing 100+, all of a sudden you get these big games, which we're going to see in the month of September. There's going to be some big outings and some big situations. When you're at that last 10-20% of your pitch count, and you've already done it 3 or 4 times leading into that, you just have more of a threshold to get through it.
Nice hop for Dylan Moore. 2 outs. Mariners' next Kids Run the Bases. It's presented by PNC Bank. It's coming up Sunday, September 11th. Team's going to be facing off against the world champion Braves at 1:10, and all kids 14 and under can round the bases after the game. So get your tickets for you and your family at mariners.com/promotions. Couple of ground outs here in the 7th. 2 out. Nobody on. 3-0 on a Dylan Moore 3-run homer. 2 outs and a 2-2 pitch in the 5th inning. Here's Naylor. 0 for 2. And this one right to Ty France. Tidy, tidy, tidy. Nicely done by Robbie Ray. 7 strong shutout innings against a good Cleveland ball club. We'll keep it right here for guys. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to play Washington's lottery. When you play, all of Washington wins. In fact, over the last 10 years, more than $1.2 billion have been contributed to education. Summit Bike Park at Silver Fir. It opened today. Glad to see the boys got the goggles and the helmets on.
Safety first.
Absolutely. I tell you what, that is a tremendous and amazing skill set. Bless their hearts. Ty France, he broke a big offer with a base hit leading off the 5th, and that turned out to be a turning point inning for the Mariners. He's 1 for 2.
And weight off his shoulders too.
High drive left field. Giddy up, baby. Gone. Ty France with a home run. The swing is back. The groove is back, and the Mariners have a 4-0 lead. Rock'em sock'em, Ty France.
And this is a great sign. We talked about the ball he hit off the handle, giving Negron a hug down at first base. But this ball is absolutely crushed off the Edgar sign out there in left field. 104 exit velo, 31 launch. See you later. Welcome back, Ty France.
Wow. 15th home run, RBI number 63.
Robbie loves it.
That's a thing of beauty. Strike 1 to Santana. Coming back with a bang.
Oh, yeah. You think about it, too, this last week or so, there's been some frustrating times, some tough calls against him. Obviously getting thrown out of the game yesterday and just not getting a good feel. Everyone's questioning, is it an injury? Is there something wrong with your swing? Could be a little bit of both, could be a little bit of everything. And now today, all of a sudden, you get that ball off the handle, weight off your shoulders, now you can settle in. You're seeing Civale well enough, and then absolutely crushed that home run.
An exponential jump in his look out. Exponential jump in his mental strength right now. You know,
sure.
And confidence.
And a good time for it, too. About to head out on the road. You're around each other a ton. There's a certain energy you give off, good or bad. You see Julio's loving it, too. All those guys in that dugout, man, that's the difference. When you have that team chemistry, guys are starting to click, it rubs off on other guys around you.
Kwan, let's see if he can battle the sun. Hangs with it, makes the play. Mariners Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Virginia Mason Franciscan Health, the Mariners' official partner in health, keeping the Northwest healthy at vmfh.org. And by Home Street Bank, rated one of America's best small banks in 2022 by Newsweek. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. Good to see Ty France back. Came in with an 0 for 20. He's gone 2 for 3 today with a home run and a single.
He's another guy, Cal Roll, you'd like to see get something to hit. Get that confidence steamrolling at the plate again. Los Santos warming up. Civale deeper into this game. We talked about usually shorter outings from him. Just making those few mistakes, and the Mariners jumping all over it. It's been the difference too. This series there's been very little mistakes from pitching on both sides.
A little too quick.
Eyes lit up. 2-0 count. Cut fastball, looked like a fastball, then just took a left turn on you.
2 home runs today by the Mariners. 145 on the season. They started the day 6th in the American League in that category. 2-1 pitch here to Cal.
Yeah, it's interesting too. You go into an outing, and obviously Ty France is an all-star. You know that if you're pitching against him, if you're Aaron Civale, but you kind of pinpoint the guys who are scuffling of late.
That pitching, those pitching notes as Cal's aboard.
Yeah, look at those. Look at the pitching last three games from both teams. But like I said, you kind of come into the game. You know Ty France is scuffling a little bit, so you're going to attack him a little bit differently, and then he makes you pay for it.
Terry Francona going to make a move here. A run in, a runner on, 1 out, 7th inning. Mariners lead 4-0. Tell you about that pitching change when we get back. In the game, let's watch the T-Mobile coverage cam in action and watch the fan reaction. We got another sellout here, 45,190. Look at that crowd reaction. Total in this 4-game series with the Cleveland Guardians, 154,674. And look how they reacted to Ty France's home run.
Yeah, and you can get on your feet right away. That's a no doubt. The Dylan Moore, he had a chance. You see Stephen Kwan backing up at Ty France. Man, welcome back to the party.
Aaron Civale and Robbie Ray, they locked up in a duel. Out of zeros.
Yeah, I think
4.5 innings.
Both those guys, probably Robbie Ray as well, probably done for the day. But Aaron Civale, he was good today, just made those mistakes. And the Mariners, very few mistakes. The Mariners really made you pay for it. But when you throw that curveball over and over and over, sure enough, that your opponent's going to pick up on that. Enel De Los Santos, 37 games, 2.83 ERA. Opponents hitting 221.
Mariners trying to build on this lead. Here's Adam Frazier. Got a double, walk, and a run scored. 1 out, Cal Raleigh at first. Adam Frazier against Enel De Los Santos out of San Pedro de Macorís in the Dominican Republic, 6'3", 235, 26 years old.
Look at that fastball, 94, 96. Changeup's his big weapon. We'll throw that with 2 strikes.
Fourth big league season for De Los Santos. Has been with Phillies and the Pirates before coming to Cleveland this season. Two and one to Frazier.
There's a slider right there. Good count right now. 2-1. Has come back in the strike zone. That fastball, 94 middle.
1 out, 1 on. So 3 and 1. You got Dylan Moore. He's on deck. 3-run, 2-out homer on a 2-2 pitch. Bottom 5 with a 3-0 lead. Ty France just added to it with a home run leading off here in the home 7th. 3 and 1 to Frazier. Center field straw right there. Cal's got to hurry to get back, and he does. So 2 outs and Demo will come up. Catch a game with fellow fans at a Mariners Bar League location, including Fuel Sports Grill in Ballard, local public eatery in South Lake Union, Tony T's Sports Lounge in Soto, and Earl's on the Ave in the U District. For a full list of Mariner Bar League members, visit mariners.com/barleague. Dylan Moore, big home run, first since the 7th of July. His 6th of the season, takes the RBI total to 19. Now tip, strike 1.
Nice look at that 3-run bomb off a curveball. See that 355. See Stephen Kwan was backing up on that ball, but plenty of space between the wall and where that ball bounced. But talk about numbers all you want. 207 batting average, 6 home runs. But when you're in it right now, trying to get to the postseason, big moments like that, you'll never forget him. Dylan Moore getting a chance to play today, getting a late scratch from J.P. Crawford.
Like that grand slam he hit against Houston.
Exactly, yeah.
1-1 pitch to Dylan with 2 outs. Called a strike. Crowd energizing itself, doing the wave. Another sellout here at T-Mobile Park, and hopefully it'll be like this the rest of the way in this playoff position chase.
Yeah, it's a good sign. We're playing the Nationals on I think it was a Tuesday night. The place was packed. Really good crowd. Speaks volumes right there how much the city is behind this team, how excited everyone is. There's a different buzz this year in 2022, knowing this team is in a perfect spot to get that first postseason berth.
This weekend's been energized as well.
Yeah.
Ichiro weekend, and then the news broke, and then came out, talked about Julio signing a long-term, basically almost like a lifetime contract.
I saw that news, and I'm not gonna lie, there was times where he'd do something big, something good in the game, and you're thinking to yourself, wow, how good is this player? But yeah, always in the back of your mind, how long is he going to be here in the Mariners uniform? But we answer that question.
Yes, indeed. 2-2 pitch with 2 outs. Swing and a miss, struck him out. Mariners get 1, strand 1. Take a 4-0 lead to the 8th. This afternoon, Ryan Rowland-Smith.
Yeah, he was fire this afternoon. Fastball, slider. That slider got better and better as the game went on. Got that depth, that velocity, but nothing bigger than the 6th inning. Had runners on base, back against the wall. Was able to come out with some huge outs to get out of that 6th and keep this game scoreless for him and get that team back in the dugout. You can see him shaking his head a little bit, a little frustrated with a couple of pitches, but man, nasty. Look at this in the strikeout breakdown. The slider right down the 4-seam. Krablin.
Started something good. Man, the old song, Tell Me Something Good. Look at that, 1.42 ERA,
Love it.
4 earnings, 23 Ks and 2 walks. Yeah.
The backbone of this team, that rotation, is starting to click, all of them.
Time now for a Beacon Plumbing call to the pen. Brings us Eric Swanson. He's been fabulous.
Yeah, look at that. 43 games, 41 innings pitched, 0.88, a sub-1 ERA. He just rolls through innings like it's nothing. A ton of 1-2-3 innings. Had one the other night as well. But again, that fastball split combination, the occasional slider you see right there, that split being his big weapon with 2 strikes. He's been good this year.
Owen Miller, Andres Jimenez, and Austin Hedges. 6, 7, and 8 in the order.
Dave, we're going to ask your thoughts on the new bullpen nickname.
Well, I will tell you this: when they started flashing the lights the other night, it scared the heck out of me, because I wasn't expecting it. I'm sitting there, I was on the radio, it's like, whoa, what happened? It's cool. I like it. You know, you got to market. I understand. It's good.
I'm a big fan of walkout songs. I'm not gonna lie. From Mariano walking out.
Wow.
Enter Sandman.
That was
Trevor Hoffman.
Oh, right to the 5-hole. Adams smothers it. Gives it a shot. Nope. Base hit. Good effort all around.
And Eric Swanson trying to help him out. Taking one off the inside of the foot.
I think the one that first blew me away. It's one thing to see it on TV, but I think my second year here was that first year at Yankee Stadium, and they do Enter Sandman with Rivera.
Yeah.
And everybody was air guitaring, and the place everybody's head was bopping, head banging, and everything. That was
awesome.
phenomenal.
Yeah, it gives you.
I know a lot of people don't like the Yankees at this part of the country, but that was phenomenal.
Yeah, that Hell's Bells, Trevor Hoffman.
That's very good as well.
Yeah.
And Edwin Diaz, who used to be
Yes.
here, he's got him rocking at Citi Field in New York with the Mets. Cleveland will not go away without a big fight here these last couple of innings.
Go back to that rotation as well. You know, looking at some of the guys when they're starting to click all of a sudden. But you talk about Luis Castillo and Robbie Ray the last 2 nights. First of all, the pitch counts. I can't stress enough. When you've got guys who are comfortable going 100+, you know, every other outing, it's a great sign, especially when you're in the stretch run down in September, when you got that big inning in that 6th inning like we saw with Robbie, back against the wall, able to get through it. Look at Luis Castillo. 12 of his 22 outings have been 100+ pitches. For Robbie, 8 of 16.
Frazier backing up. And there's one out. Mariners Baseball is brought to you by UW Medicine. Top-ranked research, care, and learning working together to improve patient care. UW Medicine, a higher degree of health care. And by your Western Washington Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places. Glad you've joined us this Sunday afternoon. Dave Sims, Ryan Wolin-Smith. Play here, top of the 8th. Mariners with a 4-0 lead. There's Austin Hedges, the catcher. Base hit to right and a stolen base back into 6th. He's 1 for 2. Be a good plane ride. They can finish up with this
For sure.
victory here today. Day off tomorrow. Get in late tonight in Detroit. Day off, and then 3 games with Detroit, and see these guys again Friday, Saturday, Sunday in Cleveland. Could not check that swing.
That was a straight guessing right there on that pitch.
Advantage Swanson.
This was a slider that got away from him. You can see Austin Hedges trying to cheat on that pitch a little bit, thinking he's going to get something straight in the middle of the strike zone. You see Trace had that well up and in on up around his head.
Infield at double play depth. Hanging up. Tagby out there making a play. Taking over in left field for Winker. Still battling some finger issues. Fun attempt a few nights ago, but still plenty good to go out. Run down fly balls.
Yeah, good to see him back. How big of an impact he has been defensively too, subbing in at the end of games like that. guy like Sam Haggerty can run, play defense. So starting to hit as well.
And there's one of those guys too. Will Benson going to pinch hit. One of those guys too. Late game, you know, you got to get a bag.
Yeah.
You got a lot of confidence in him. He's had a good year in that department.
Yeah, you start to think, you start to look ahead. All of a sudden, October baseball postseason, putting in a pinch run. Sam Haggerty in a big game, getting that stolen bag.
Yeah, I mean, he's a guy you can depend on. Dylan Moore can, you know, steal some bases. Julio, of course. Limited action for Benson. Swanson ahead 0-1.
There's that good split right there. Hasn't had that yet today, but I think when you're facing a guy like Erik Swanson, you know, you look at the numbers too, and you think to yourself, I have to protect against that split right there. So you see that swing from Austin Hedges, straight guessing. That's kind of where you have to fall into. You just have to guess right.
1-1 pitch, swing and a miss by Will Benson. First round pick by Cleveland, 14th overall back in 2016. His big league debut, 1st of August. 89 games in Columbus at AAA, 278, 17 homers, 45 runs batted in. Swanee going right after him.
And there's Cal Raleigh trying to pitch up in the strike zone.
We've had 14 guys make their debuts this year. He's one of them. He was the 11th guy to do it. Two-two pitch. Hammered. Look out. Benson pinch hitting for Straw.
It's about the best contact we've seen against Erik Swanson really for a while too. I mean, that's one thing. Look, 32% strikeout rate, which is well above MLB average, but just the weak contact, just the nothing contact he gets. But he has to execute right here. He's been missing with a few pitches.
2-2 here to Benson, who made a heck of a catch in the Thursday game in the opener of this series, playing at center field. Put it in play the other way. Haggerty will have to get it back in. Good 2-strike hitting by that young man. Sid Cleveland not going to go quietly.
Yeah, plenty of contact right here. Like you said, 2-strike approach, just trying to get the bat to the ball. You see Cal Raleigh again trying to get that pitch above the strike zone. Erik Swanson needs to make just a minor little adjustment. Get that good extension. Execute a pitch right here.
Top of the order. Some tough guys up here. Juan Rosario Ramirez. Got traffic out there, so need an out in a big way right now.
We got Paul Sewald ready to roll in the bullpen as well.
Attacking on first pitch. You gotta like that.
Yeah.
Juan 0 for 3 today. Comebacker to Robbie Reyes. Slicing drive in left center field. That was run down on a pop up to short. Swanee's ahead 0-2.
All right, 2 strikes. This is where he's been struggling a little bit to get that execution. This is where you come up with that big pitch. You take that extra breath. Get that good extension on that split or that fastball in the top of the strike zone. 2 options right here.
Oh, 2. Swing and a miss. Swanee strikes him out. Strands 2. We go bottom 8. It's all Mariners. 4-0 against Cleveland. Mariners baseball on Root Sports, being brought to you by Michael's Toyota of Bellevue off I-90 at Eastgate, for the life you live. And by Jack in the Box spicy chicken strips. They're back at Jack in the Box for a limited time, starting at just $5.49. How about this? You take a lift up for mountain biking at Summit Ride Park. There's the lift. Oh yeah, I see it. There it is. Come on down.
Or you can ride up, get some fitness, right, Dave?
I tell you what, I would do that. I would ride up because I like that challenge. Onesies would be enough. Curtis says, all right, we'll take you up there next week, big boy.
You and me on the off day.
Yeah, absolutely. What the heck?
Make sure it's an e-bike.
Roger that. Here's the veteran, Bryan Shaw. Spent a little bit of time with the Mariners.
For Bryan Shaw, 44 innings pitched, 21 walks, 39 strikeouts. Yeah, you mentioned his time with the Mariners didn't go too well. Back with the Cleveland Guardians.
Dude, Julio can get it going here, bottom 8. Build on that 4-0 lead. Will Benson stays in the game at center field. Bryan Shaw has been around a long time. His 12th big league season. Second tour of duty with Cleveland. He's been with Arizona, Cleveland, Colorado, the Mariners for 6 games back in 2020. It didn't go well at all. 1-0 with an 18 ERA. And now second stint with Cleveland, second year.
Plenty of cut fastballs too. He throws that primarily. 73% for the cutter, and then the occasional breaking ball. Yeah, you said his time with the Mariners. I was excited about getting him too. He had some good years before that, but just couldn't figure it out.
Yeah, it's amazing. And I thought that was a really good pickup. Oh, 2 to Julio. 0 for 3 today. Struck out, grounded out to short, and had a little tapper right in front of home plate that Hedges, the catcher, threw him out.
We'll see this guy get hot, get consistent. Saw the home run last night. Get that exit velo back.
1-2 pitch. Good eye. 2-2. Top of the order, Julio, Sam Haggerty, and Mitch Haniger. And in the top of the 9th, Cleveland will have 2, 3, 4 coming up. Rosario, Ramirez, and Gonzalez.
Looks like Matt Brash is warming up again. Oh, it's a tough pitch. Everything's moving from Bryan Shaw. He doesn't throw anything straight, doesn't throw a 4-seam fastball. Everything has that cut, that life to it. See something out over the middle of the plate.
Two and 2 to Julio, leading off bottom 8. Full count. Before it was Ichiro to this. Ichiro. Now it's Julio. Yeah. From now till, let's say, 2037.
And we heard that too during the speech. Yes, the crowd got going. I loved it. Brought back some memories. But you're right, it's all of a sudden transition to the new generation, the next generation, Julio Rodriguez.
Oh, hopped it up, you bet. He just missed it, right?
Missed it.
Second baseman hanging with it, Andres Jimenez. One down here in the 8th. Mariners take on the reigning World Series champion Atlanta Braves from September 9 to the 11th. See baseball's brightest young stars, Julio Rodriguez, Ronald Acuna Jr., and more right here at T-Mobile Park. Tickets are selling fast, so be sure to lock in your seats today at Mariners.com. The haunting sound of the theme from The Godfather. That means Sam Haggerty is in the game, getting ready to swing it. I had a blast when the Yankees were in town, and Susan Waldman, good friend for many years, does radio for the Yankees, and she texted me during the game when he came. So what in the world is that? I said, we'll do it tomorrow. So we brought Sam in. He says, basically, the short version of the story. Hey, my grandmother had us watch The Godfather, Casino, and Goodfellas. He says, family home movies. Come on. Two down. Here in the 8th. Mariners baseball is brought to you by Amtrak Cascades with 18 stops along the corridor. You've got lots of destinations to enjoy, so plan your getaway. Grab tickets at AmtrakCascades.com. And by the Washington State Department of Revenue, returning unclaimed cash to Washingtonians. Visit claimyourcash.org. Quick 2 outs here, bottom 8. There's Mitch Haniger. Chopper off the plate. Ramirez, nothing doing.
Yeah, you mentioned Sam Haggerty, just to finish that thought. You hear that theme music a lot more, obviously, when you get more playing time, but more chances to explain yourself, too. A lot more attention. People trying to talk to him, hear his story a little bit.
Big Italian family from the Detroit area.
Happy for him, though, getting a chance to do some good things here in the big leagues.
And I do love that movie, too, Godfather.
Oh, yeah.
There was a stretch, I swear, I think there might have been a stretch of 10, 11 years in a row. I watched it at least once. I mean, in consecutive years.
Goodfellas, Casino.
Oh, man. Good stuff. I remember being, I was playing D3 baseball in college when that movie came out in '72. And we were in North Carolina. I'm trying to remember who we played. But the team went to see it in the theater. And, you know, I grew up, I got a lot of Italian friends back home in Philly, and people were laughing all the Italian customs and whatnot. I said, what are you laughing at? That's what they do. Come on. I thought that was like, what?
Yeah, that was
a different culture. I understand from North Carolina, but I mean, come on.
That were classic road trip movies on a bus when you're in AA. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Those cult classics. 8 o'clock bus ride and you're watching The Godfather.
If only Sonny had easy pass. As Haniger walks. 2-out base runner for Eugenio Suarez.
The Mariners are in a great spot right now. You think about this series too. We didn't talk a whole lot about the Cleveland Guardians, how tough they are, but this was going to be a tough series. You've got to play them again in Cleveland. We've taken 3 of 4. Obviously a big weekend with the Ichiro Hall of Fame, but you're trying to get back on that winning way and take care of series. Had that road trip against teams they should have taken care of. Finishing off the month of August the right way, hitting the road in a good spot.
Strike one to Gino. As the wild card chase, you should know that Tampa Bay won at Boston 12-4. Angels blew out Toronto in Toronto 8-3. Baltimore loses to Houston 3-1. And the Twins, they beat the Giants. Totally right. Should not totally write off the Twins. Up to the second. Right now, Tampa Bay, Mariners, and Toronto. 3 wild card teams with Baltimore a game and a half back, Minnesota 3, and the White Sox 6. Strike 3 call. Gino gone. Lockdown time. 4-0 Mariners as we go to the 9th. Mariners baseball is brought to you by your Western Washington Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places. And by Steel. To find your local Steel dealers, visit steeldealers.com. Wonderful afternoon made better by a 4-0 Mariner lead. Top 9. Dave Sims, Ryan Rowland-Smith with you. Los Bomberos sends out another one of the good guys. I'll jump around. Hey, Paul Sewald.
Paul Sewald pitching the 9th inning, 2.61 ERA, 52 games. Opponents hitting 127. Just bouncing off what a career year he had in 2021, doing it again. So consistent. Had that rough series against the Nationals, back-to-back games. Bounced back nicely against the Indians, the Guardians the other night, but gonna lock it down here.
They can walk through the gauntlet here. Rosario, Ramirez, Gonzalez, 2, 3, 4. 4 runs, 4 hits for the Mariners. No runs, 5 hits, 1 error for Cleveland. First pitch strike, always a good way to start. Rosario has K'd 3 times today, swinging. Just joining us, Robbie Ray, outstanding. 7 innings, 3 hit shutout ball, no walks, 7 Ks. Swing and a miss.
And none bigger than the strikeout to Rosario in that 6th inning to shut down Cleveland Guardians.
Right after Demo hit the 3-run home.
Yeah, exactly. And there's that big slider from Paul Sewald, well below the strike zone. There's those big moments that are just absolute momentum killers for the Cleveland Guardians in that situation. Trying to bounce back. We saw him do that last night. Game changer.
They were very, very impressive coming back last night. Mariners had a 1-0, 2-0, 2-1 lead, 3-1 lead, and they put up a 3-spot in the 8th against Munoz.
Yeah, pumping 101 top of the strike zone, able to make solid contact.
0-2 to Rosario. Swing and a miss. He's got the golden sombrero. He's K'd 4 times. 1 out here in the 9th.
And didn't look good on any of these swings. You see EQC trace that ball to the bottom of the zone there from Paul Sewald. The old golden sombrero. That's a rough way to finish off a road trip for Rosario.
4 Ks for Rosario. As he always tough Jose Ramirez. Hurt you in a multitude of ways. Very good player. 0 for 3 today. A fly out, 2 groundouts. Stand in the yard. Mitch Haniger. 2 down.
And a big key against facing Rosario too. Facing with no one else on base. That was a big one. We talked about that in the 6th inning, making sure Rosario wasn't able to reach. Have him come up. I see him getting there with just a 1 pitch. Man, rock solid, airtight pitching. 1 through 9 from the Mariners all day long.
One more out. Here's Gonzalez. Rinsed out of the way there.
See this slider on the EQC trace. It looked like clipped the strike zone. Not quite. All right, regroup. Next pitch.
Here's the 1-0. There's the strike. Gonzalez today single to left in the 2nd inning. Tried to steal. Cal Raleigh threw him out. Since then, a strikeout looking and a ground out to short. One and 1 from Sewald. They hit 1 and 2. 45,190 on their feet. This Mariner Ball Club about to win for the 4th time in 6 games in this homestand and take 3 out of 4 from the Cleveland Guardians with a rematch coming up next weekend in Cleveland. Sewald, the 1-2 pitch to Gonzalez. Couldn't get him to go for it. 2-2.
Sneak that 93 past him. Past Gonzalez right there. Looks like 103 when he's throwing those sliders right before it.
Mariners won 3 out of 4 against Cleveland here at home last year. Trying to match that right now. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Sewald. Ground ball, 3rd base. Gino. That's a ball game. Mariners win it 4-0 and take this series 3 out of 4 against a good Cleveland Ball Club. And they'll head off to Detroit and Cleveland later on this afternoon. That's a great win.
It really is. 3 of 4 against a tough Cleveland Guardians, a team you may see in the postseason. But that man right there, Dylan Moore, wasn't even in the lineup to start the game, was the hero today. We talked about the Mariners capitalizing on just a couple mistakes. They only got a couple of them, and they made the most of them. Ty France, too. You can see him doing the little jig right there. Welcome back. That big home run, single, getting 2 hits today. It's going to be a happy flight out to Detroit.
Oh, a lot of heroes today. Pitching was just superior. It was superb. Dylan Moore, good for him. A 3-run homer to break a scoreless tie. His first home run since July 7th. And as as he starts to climb in his batting average, he's going to continue, obviously, to make great defensive contributions. But now from the offensive side, that's a big one right there.
Yeah, it really is. And also, too, starting pitcher, man, Robbie Ray. We had Luis Castillo last night, 10 strikeouts. And Robbie Ray, look at this. Starters this series, 1.42 ERA, 25 innings pitched, pitching deep into games. Good to see Logan Gilbert back on the horse as well. And Robbie Ray, that 6th inning, getting some big strikeouts.
Win number 70 for the Mariners, and a big part played by Dylan Moore, standing by right now with Jen Mueller.
Yeah, that was certainly a huge hit in the 5th inning. You start that AB 0-2. How do you battle back?
You just got to keep going. That guy's a good pitcher. He's got some good stuff, but I knew that if I could get a couple of good pitches to hit and kind of stay in there and wear him down a little bit, I can eventually get a good pitch to hit, which I was able to do.
You know, the pitch before was an obvious no catch and no call, but did it feel like a break you had to take advantage of?
No doubt. Every time there's a break like that, you got to take advantage of it, and, you know, that was something that bounced our way, and, you know, I took care of it.
It sounded pretty good off the bat, but how confident were you that you had enough to clear the fence?
I mean, I knew I hit it well, and I knew, you know, it's a day game. Hopefully it can fly a little bit more than usual. You know, I knew I hit it well. I knew I had a shot.
Both 2 home runs account for all the offense today. How much frustration do you think Ty France let out in that upper deck swing?
Oh, that's huge for him. You know, he knows he can do it. You know, it's a matter of seeing it, you know, come to reality on the field, and to see him do that, it's really good for us. He's a huge part of this team, and moving forward, he will be the same. It
is going to make for a happy flight to Detroit, that's for sure. Go inside and enjoy this one, with your teammates. I'll see you on the plate.
Thank you.
All right, Dylan Moore homers, so does Ty France. In fact, all of the runs scored by the Mariners come via the long ball today. Aaron Savali had not given up one in his last 5 starts, but the Mariners get exactly what they need in a 4-0 win against the Guardians. We are back with highlights and reaction from inside next.